right, welcome back to the broadcast, the last laps of the conversation. Remember, it is Tuesday, and Tuesday we focus much on matters business and matters economy. After that debate on the state of the economy, we now proceed to understanding some more on insurance. And so I'll be having specialists on board that would probably encourage you or discourage you as to whether you should take any form of insurance. Certainly an arrangement by which a company or the state undertakes to provide a guarantee of compensation for specific loss, damage, illness, or death in return for payment of specified premium. Well, we have many new borrowers that take out insurance against unemployment or a sickness and a couple of other things. Look at it as, a thing that provides protection against possible eventualities, and they will always be there. Somebody would probably tell you, wacha kukua negative and all that. There's no point of taking an insurance. After all, you'll be safe. But I mean, you just need to be cautious. And sometimes we've gone to levels where we say, you know what, you're even pushed, you're forced, you are coerced to take an insurance because it is for your own good. If not helped at any point with an insurance, you might not see the benefit, you might not understand. But when it comes through for you, then you literally understand how important it is. Some of us have probably been, in scenarios where, you had to stretch a hand and see whether your insurer will come through. Speak of NHIF, the basic one that we have, and you probably have this one person who's sick, and it goes to levels, or the prices go to levels where you can't manage, and then at that point, that monthly contribution that you've been making comes through for you. So we just want to understand the nitty-gritty details about the insurance, and so the specialist on board will be telling us just exactly how important that is. We have one guest here, of course, from Jubilee Insurance. We'll also have an expert and so much more. They are venturing so much so in the world of insurance, but then again, just how important is this, and what is this one thing that they will be telling us this morning so that we get into the conversation. Joseph Muongi is with us this morning. Pauline Wanjohi is also with us this morning. And lastly, we also have Masi, who's also with us this morning. And so I'll allow them to introduce themselves before we take some bit of, vox pops from on ground, or the people who are on ground. They tell us their view on the insurance world and whether a majority of them or few of them have gotten into just getting to insure some of the basic commodities or individuals in their lives. So karibuni sana. It's ladies and gentlemen. Now, the other time it was lady and gentleman. It's ladies and gentlemen, right? Yes. Karibuni sana. Oh, all right. Okay. Introduce yourself, Mom.
My name is Pauline Wanjohi. I'm an insurance professional. When I say I'm an insurance professional, it means I am a qualified associate of the Insurance Institute of Kenya and also the Insurance Institute of London. I've been in this trade or profession for the last almost 30 years, doing insurance underwriting, claims, and even the marketing of insurance. So it's something I've done for a very long time and something which I'm passionate about.
All right.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be in this world and try to coerce people to get into it. It's another to be making money out of it. And so we probably want to listen to you and hear whether you're going to be telling us this because you make money out of it or because it's of great importance to us. Introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Joseph Muongi. I'm the founder of Finatrack Global Limited. We are providers of GPS tracking and fleet management solutions. I also have a background in insurance through actuarial science and also a certificate of proficiency in insurance. Yes.
All right, Masi.
My name is Masi. I work with one of the top of the most insurance companies, and I also own my own insurance agency. I've been in this industry for around 5 years now, basically mostly in life insurance. But we will talk about that. Yes.
All right, here we are. And as basic as what is insurance? We start from there.
Okay. Insurance is basically a protection against financial loss. It's also a risk transfer, risk management mechanism, whereby you have a risk and you say, I cannot be able to carry this risk myself, and therefore I'm going to transfer it to an insurer. So when you transfer that risk, you pay just a proportion, some little money, and you keep it. The insurer takes up that risk. So compared, let's assume you have a car and it's valued for 1 million shillings, but you pay 50,000 shillings and you transfer the risk of an accident to the insurer. So it gives you that financial security, and also you are able to manage your risk, because in everyday life we are faced with risks, and sometimes some risks we can carry, but there are risks we cannot be able to carry.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, a very good note to start from, and we probably now understand how important it is for you to take an insurance. Before we delve deep into this, let's listen into what the people have to say.
Kwa majina ni kama Crispina Sifuamba Makoha kutoka sehemu za Nitima huko. Mimi naonelea kwamba upande wa NHIF sisi watu wa chini hatuna uwezo wa kupata hiyo NHIF. Watu wengi huwa tukienda hospitali hatuwezi tukatibiwa juu sababu wanataka hiyo NHIF. Sasa naomba kama inawezekana wale viongozi kama huyu mheshimiwa wetu mwenye anaitwa Ruto ajali watu wa hasola, kama inawezekana pia washughulikie kwa watu wapate ile gati ya NHIF.
Naumia sana, maisha imekuwa ngumu sana. Pengine serikali itusaidie kujaribu kurekebisha na maisha. Corona ilikuja ika-affect sana. Watu wengi wanaumia sana. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali ambayo iko mamlakani iweze at least ku-upgrade ili wananchi waone vile wanaweza kuishi.
Kwa sababu kwamba mapato yetu iko chini sana, na kwa upande pia serikali ingependa kusema ya kwamba iangalie soka katuni mgumu sana. Inge make sure kwamba wagonjwa wote ambao wangekuwa wako wameathirika na ugonjwa mbalimbali waende hospitali utibiwe free, kwa sababu sasa hii kweli ukienda hospitali kuna watu wamerundikana line mrefu na hawana pesa, hawana insurance. So inakuwa vigumu sana wakati wa corona, kwa sababu watu wanahangaika, watu wanaumia. So serikali yetu ingekuwa mzuri, ingesema kwamba wakati hata at least relief kwa wananchi, watu wako wanapata matibabu ya bure, wasaidiwe, na hiyo itakuwa mzuri sana. Sasa hii kwa insurance ni ngumu sana, kwa sababu pesa ambayo tunapata ni kidogo, na hata ikuruhusu wewe mwenyewe hata kununua dawa. Sasa zingine watu wanalala njaa, watu wengine sasa hata ugonjwa pia inachangia na njaa pia watu tunapata nayo. So inakuwa ni ngumu sana. Kweli mimi sina insurance.
Itoshi kulipa insurance. Kwa sababu insurance unalipa kwa mwaka. Unataka 70,000, 80,000, na hata biashara kwa wakati kama hii haitoi hata hiyo 70,000. So kukuwa na insurance ni bure. Na hata wenye wako na insurance hii hospitali haitibu ni kutumia insurance. Na hata insurance wenyewe hawana pesa kucompensate watu. So kitu ya kuwa na hizi covers hata NHIF zote imekuwa null and void.
Kulingana na jinsi maisha yanavyo, mimi kwa sasa hivi sina insurance. Hata nilikuwa nikilipa ile inaitwanga NHIF mpaka hata imenishinda kwa sababu ya mapato yangu hainiruhusu. Kwa nikijikaza pale nyuma, lakini kwa sasa hivi sina mapato ya kuweza kucover my things, hata maisha yangu na watoto wangu. Mmoja ako na itaishi kwa neema Mwenyezi Mungu. Yeah.
Uko na insurance? Yeah, uko na insurance.
Well, there is more, but in the best interest of time, let's just come back and get to delve deep into this. Do you realize how much people run away from the people who are selling insurance? Yeah. Why? Is it because we do not have knowledge of how important this is, or it's evidently because of the fact that it's an expensive affair?
I'll say it's both. Because first of all, there's a knowledge gap, and what you don't know, you relatively have phobia for it. Because the unfortunate bit is insurance is quite complicated to understand for the first time. Because you're purely selling a probability. Telling someone, give me your money now, and the event something happens, we'll get you covered. So it's actually something difficult for people to understand. And also there's a negative perception within the industry based on the complaints going around related to also to the people who've already purchased this insurance. Yeah.
All right, and of course we come to you, Muongi, and truth on board is that yes, forget about the knowledge, and I know we understand how important the knowledge then would be, but reality is that times are tough. and therefore it becomes hard for one to go to levels of selling, you said a probability, like this is what is likely to happen to a person, and tell them, dish out 100 shillings from your pocket every time just so you ensure yourself. How difficult has it been to do so? And do you suppose that in years to come, then we're going to have a shift or change on the same?
Actually, I would say that things are working out, things are changing. Initially, what is to happen in Kenya, it's a matter of he said, she said, when it comes to insurance. Most of the people don't really reach out to know more about it. And sometimes you might find, because it's a probability, it has not affected you directly. You don't have a member who has been sick enough for you to be able to have to do harambes, for you to do a medical, maybe inpatient or outpatient. You have not seen the street kids out there. Does it mean that these street kids do not have relatives? It is because their parents trusted that once something happens to me, my kids will be catered for. You can't tell me to make a child, you have two people, a man and a woman. So when it comes to plans for the kids, you will assume that I do not need this. I have a job. When it comes to your insurance for the vehicles, the general insurance, the medical insurance, I don't need it, I don't fall sick. But when it reaches close to home, is when now you decide insurance is important. So don't wait for it to get to that point where now is when you're starting to think, I now need this. Now you're starting to think of, yes, it is expensive. But now we have plans whereby you can even pay pole pole. There is lipa pole pole for your medical covers. It's 70,000, yes. But you're paying maybe 20,000, 20,000 according to what you can afford. Yes.
All right. Well, interesting there. And one would want to ask, for the few who ventured into it, and you've had Muongi speaking of a scenario where the people who've already taken insurances will come up with stories or will tell you stories of their experiences, and they're ugly stories, and therefore discourages the other people who've not ventured into them. I am keen to understand what are some of the basic policies that goes on into the formation of these insurance policies, and the rules that abide therein, before we get into just understanding the outer world, which is actually the most complicated one would want to imagine, especially when it comes to a point where you want to modify your car and you're told you can't because the insurer will not pay, into scenarios where you have to take half the charge, and all this while you have been religiously paying your dues as expected. What goes into the policies of forming these rules that guide the insurance policies that we have again?
Okay, just first and foremost, I think the concept of insurance has not well been understood in the country by most people. And insurance is, you don't buy insurance because you are going to be sick. You buy insurance because there is a possibility you could be sick. But there is also the concept of pooling together of risks. So you bring your risk, I bring my risk, and the other person's risk. And then we put them together in a basket. Not all of us are going to get a problem. But because we pooled in a basket, when one of us gets a problem, we pull from that basket and we cater for that person. I think that's the concept that most people have not understood. And that's why when you take cover, you don't pay up to the sum insured. You only pay a proportion of your risk because we pull them together. So you don't say that I will not take insurance because I'll not get sick. But there is a probability you will get sick, but there is also somebody in the pool who will get sick. So that's basically how insurance works. But more importantly, once you buy an insurance, basically, as I said, it's a transfer of risk. So you're transferring that risk to an insurer. There is what we call the insurance contracts. So just like any other contract, when you go to buy land, there is a contract. And this contract has terms and conditions. And the first thing the contract says is what is insured. And when you see what is insured, it also comes with terms, exclusion, what is not insured. Not everything is insured. And I think people need to understand that. And what I would say as an insurance professional is when you get your policy or when you go to purchase insurance, the first thing you need to know is what is covered in that policy. what is not covered and why is it not covered. There are reasons as to why it's not covered.
Why is it so common that, after you bought this, probably it's sold in a very beautiful way to you, but now after when it comes to levels where you have to make claims and all that, it becomes, a roller coaster, it becomes battles after battles. Is there something that, is more of a trick, to the people who are selling insurance that you're normally told, don't dish out all the information, surprise them when it comes to time where you have to dish out money?
Well, I would say it's not correct. Insurance is there's one principle of insurance called utmost good faith. Utmost good faith says that we have to deal in honesty and fairness.
Is it always what is there?
Honesty and fairness.
Okay.
So you as the insured, you need to tell me all the facts about your risk, and me as the insurer, I need to tell you everything. I have to put everything on the table. And I think what has come out, I would not really blame the insurer. We have people who are selling insurance out there. It is the way we present ourselves when we are selling insurance. Because I'll come and tell you, your car is comprehensively insured. But what is comprehensively insured? Okay? You, as a client, you think everything is insured. I don't come and tell you that this policy, yes, comprehensive means 1, 2, 3, but there are some obligations. You have to keep your car in a proper condition. You have to act as if you are not insured. When there is an accident, you have to report to the police. So I think here is a question of education. When we are selling the policies to our clients, are we giving them all the information that is required? And I can tell clients as a professional, you can, even before you purchase that cover, ask for that contract. Okay? You can be given a specimen of that contract. Ask for the contract, look through, and see this is what is covered, this is what is not covered. Some items which are not covered can be bought back or can be given even for free. So you may find that I'm saying I'm not covering this condition, but I can go and say, okay, I have this condition, so it can be covered back. So the insurer will assess and can tell you, I'll cover it back for this amount. Sometimes those exclusions are there because it is covered by another policy.
Okay.
So motor will have an exclusion for personal accident to the owner of the vehicle, because you can take another cover called a personal accident cover. But there are also other exclusions. Insurers do not pay or do not deal with risks which cannot be estimated. Catastrophes, very large losses. Okay? For example, nuclear, something that you cannot even foresee, estimate. So they are too large. An insurance company is a limited company. Okay. So they are limited up to a certain amount. So when the risk is too huge, or the loss, the risk is too huge, or cannot, they may not be able to take that. For example, when you go to your insurance policy, you'll find war could be excluded, because when there is a war, you don't know how much it's going to cost. Yeah? When there is like issues of these pandemics, you don't know the next pandemic and how much it's going to cost, or how many people will be affected. And okay, we are not saying they are not insurable, they cannot be covered, but in some instances, it's the government which should take those risks.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, does the government take? Well, let's take a short breather, and then we come back to Muongi and Mweni to expound some more, especially on the auto world. We'll definitely want to know what plays out there and how it relates to the other, forms of insurance that we have after this short break.
Ability is common in everyone. Those abled differently also have immense ability.
Maybe we are not good in both, but we can be good in life.
They reach beyond the limits in their special, different way.
If the society can just be careful in what they call them and how they refer to them, that would at least be better.
They need to be loved. They have feelings. They would like to give love. It's a natural thing.
Catch their story on Beyond the Limit on TV 47 every Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
The brain does not exactly know how to differentiate physical pain from the psychological.
Nilikuwa na feel nimefeel hata watoi wangu.
This month, our sisters, mothers and friends share their heartfelt stories of the pain and struggles with Joy Irongo.
We are all about being authentic and sharing our lifetime experiences to speak hope and empower a woman who's probably going through a rough patch.
Join us as we unravel the heartache.
So the doctor told me she has only 2 weeks to live.
Mimi nilikaa tu miezi 2 tu nikiwa na furaha kwa ndoa.
Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
Are you looking to buy a home? Or are you looking to build one, yet you don't know where to start? Well, The Realtor is your home of real estate development information, whether you are looking to invest in the city or outside the city. We link you with the experts in the field, be it designing.
We have also a very nice lighting and then gypsum decoration on the top of the ceiling.
Roofing.
When you involve a professional in your construction, there is a difference. A project that has been delivered by a professional person and a project that has not been delivered by a professional person.
Interiors.
What we are trying to go is for a mix of European and Middle Eastern look.
Everything all under one roof. Join us every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m.
Any waste stream in our society can be turned into a revenue stream. Basically, turning lemons to lemonade. It could be a restaurant, animation industry, artistry, or even fitness. Just like the sweet and sour taste of lemons, businesses have their highs and their lows. Join me, Violet and Jackie, on the grind as business entrepreneurs tell us the tales of their business every Monday at 7:30 p.m.
Our version of Kilimo Diaries is different. Crops, livestock, all working together. Everything has a purpose, from land preparation, management, and not forgetting the market space. No farmer puts down his tools, and neither do we. Your Farmer's Daily Diary with Sandra Wahito every Sunday at 6:30 p.m.
Is that the client has totally complied with the policy document and all the terms stipulated. Because like, let's say for example from my end, I've had personal experiences where the claim is purely genuine, should be paid in accordance to the policy, but the issue then comes from the insurance angle. You can find you following up on a claim, you write emails, no one responds to your emails. Also the regulator, you find issues of so many complaints being addressed to the regulator to come and intervene, and they're also not being addressed. So it's a key challenge within the industry itself. So also another thing I used to tell most of my friends within the industry, because I have a lot of personal friends, former classmates, and also guys in business within the insurance industry. Because we always have the conversation about insurance penetration in Kenya. So for me, the best thing to go about it is first solve or make insurance efficient for the people who've already purchased it. You know, instead of trying to bring a lot of people inside the house, first do house cleaning. Make sure the teething problems are clearly addressed. Because for me, as late as yesterday, I had issues with an insurance company. I had to camp there the whole day. And the issue was, it's a third-party claim, which went to court. The insurance company was told to pay. They failed to pay. So the insured person, their truck was attached by an auctioneer, and which I also again forwarded to the insurance company. they took a span of about 3 weeks. Instead of addressing the issue, they sent an investigator at the last instance, which by practice should not be the case. The investigator should be sent even before you appoint a lawyer to go and defend this case. So I told them yesterday, this is pure lack of good faith, because I gave you 3 weeks. Through these 3 weeks, you've been promising the auctioneers that you're paying. Me on the other side, you're sending an investigator, which I haven't refused, complied with the investigator. As late as yesterday, the investigator hasn't given you the report. So that means you won't pay because you're waiting for the investigation report. The client's vehicle has been taken by the auctioneer. So you find this client paid the insurance properly. The claim was reported in good time. When the case documents were brought to the insured, they surrendered the same to you in accordance to procedure.
Right.
So you see that it's a total failure on the side of the insurance company. Yeah. So these issues also have to be addressed from the people inside the insurance company, even before you start thinking of how can we bring more people into insurance.
Well, and I mean, as in your day-to-day activities, I'd want to assume that there's that bid of making sure that at least we bring more people into the house. What is being done to make sure that, you know, there's some bit of sanity? And I mean, initially you could witness scenarios where, you know, an insurer would acknowledge how much, of course, the client has contributed in terms of the fact that, you know, you can contribute for 5 years without having to claim at any one point. And so this insurer says, you know what, let's discount you because you've been loyal and there's no eventuality, and we thank God for that. But such is actually ebbing away. And so one would want to ask, are we working towards making it better or worse?
We are working towards making it better because even at the moment we have come up with plans which actually make their clients are not willing to wait for 10 years. I am saving up, maybe let's say 5,000, because we have gone to as low as any person can afford. So let's say I'm doing a 5,000, you're telling me to take a policy of 10 years. Even I personally, if I'm told at my age to take a policy of 10 years for it to mature and for me to access it, it will be difficult. So we have started coming up with plans that are more flexible for the clients. We have plans where a client can even get the payment in the third year. The others you can even get on the 4th year. Then there's, as I said earlier on, the he said, she said issue. We have come up with also ways of making sure that the information that gets to the client is sufficient enough to make sure by the time the client comes up and takes up a policy, they know exactly what they're putting themselves into. They know if I don't pay or if something happens to me, you know, things happen. Even when COVID came in, people lost their jobs, who are not able to afford the premiums. Others, they have not until now gotten a place where they can even get the jobs to even get premium to pay for the policies. So we have made it flexible enough that if you're not able to make payments for your premium, for your policy, and maybe something has happened, communicate. Tell your insurance company that I have lost my job, so give me time. If it is, maybe let's say I've taken a policy of 5 years, and I've only paid this year, so I have 4 years remaining. I will be given up to the 4 years to actually come back and continue with my policy. So I will not lose my money. Another option that you have is, again, you can always redate or revive. We are trying to protect people because, again, the whole purpose of having insurance is peace of mind. If we give you pressure that, hey, you have to pay this premium, you said you're going to pay 40,000, you have lost your job, you have your family, how are you going to hack it? Are you going to feed your family or are you going to pay for insurance? Yes, you do need it because, again, it is protection for your family. But we have to be flexible enough to remember that apart from the goal that you wanted, we also wanted to give you peace of mind. So we have come up with flexible premiums, flexible policies to make sure that the clients are comfortable enough.
All right. Globally, the aspect of insurance is quite well embraced. Like I said, there are instances where, you know, it appears as though it's compulsory, and therefore you have no choice but to insure this, that, and everything. I think in the country, a car is now, you know, at a level where you have to insure it. There's no question about it. But, you know, there's some others that we actually lazily look at. What will it take for, well, this, you know, sector to be sanitized, you know, at least some clarity to be brought on board, and, you know, demystifying the myths that exist therein, so that at least we have proper customer relations such that the people within will be the ones that will be encouraging the people that are not in just yet to join.
Yeah, as he had said about the issue of utmost good faith, I think it has to be both ways. Okay, so the insurers also have to come out clean and ensure that they treat their clients as clients and they show that goodwill For example, the example he has given, I think it's not a good show per se, because things should have happened prior. And when you realize as an insurer, I did not do what I ought to have done, I think the best thing is just to swallow your pride and deal with the claim as it is. So the issue of going for investigations and all that should not happen. So insurers need to put their house in order. They need to realize, if you, basically when you bring a risk, an insurer is supposed to assess that risk. They are supposed to rate it. If along the way you realize, okay, I got a bad risk, or my portfolio is not performing very well, it is not for you to punish the client. It is for you to manage that risk. So you have to take your job very seriously, that I'm not only getting the premiums, I'm also supposed to manage this portfolio. And as I go along, I need to see what is happening, how is my portfolio performing, and if I find there's a problem, deal with it. I don't have to wait at the end of the year. And if they are bad, there's something bad, deal with it at that moment. I think that is lacking. We are not managing the portfolios as we ought to. And that's why when we are caught up, we look for excuses. So, and also the staff in the insurance companies, you need to appreciate these are your customers. These are the people who have given you that job. So when the customer comes, treat them right, listen to them. Don't have the mentality that, okay, this client is trying to cheat or that, but listen and then make your own judgment and handle the matter professionally. But I think there is a lot with the insurance companies. But the other thing I need to say is, when you go to buy your insurance, there is also what we call insurance intermediation. There is that professional who comes in between you and the insurance company, a person who has the skills to represent you. So sometimes you don't have to go directly to an insurance company. You can look for an intermediary.
So we are speaking about the brokers and the agents.
The brokers and the agents. Yeah, so you can get a proper professional who will take you through and who will represent you even when you have a claim.
Those are the people we dread the most. What will it take for us to get, the society, the public, to embrace the aspect of insurance? Because in most cases, it works in favor of you. It's all right, forget about the claims and the difficulties that come along with that. In most cases, it is in favor of you. What will it take for us to be convinced that we should not get scared of these intermediaries? We should not get scared of these agents and all that, Muongi?
I think it will take a lot of time before we reach there. Because they've been one of the highest complaints related to insurance being directed to the intermediaries. I think the insurance industry is trying to solve some of this, such as the buy and car. Once you pay for your insurance, it has to be debited. Each payment has to go directly to the insurance first for you to have a cover. Because before there were a lot of complaints, so the insurance says, yes, you paid for your insurance, but we didn't receive the money. But you could find either your agent or a broker has already given you, let's say, the insurance certificate. So I saw a lot of crackdown 2 years ago on this issue. So the insurance industry is also trying to correct some of the historical mistakes which have been done within the industry. And also another issue is also on training.
Wait, because I could be a victim. That scenario where you're just dealing with an agent. It's phone calls to phone calls. You have zero idea whether your money reaches the destination. Sometimes you tell them, where do I pay? They say, just send it here. And then you send it to their phone, and then they're supposed to pay on your behalf. And I mean, you will get the details that you're supposed to get.
It's actually something wrong.
Yes.
Legally, it's not supposed to be done.
So what legally you're not supposed to pay to an agent. There are two. One has to separate an agent and a broker. An agent represents the insurance company. A broker represents the client. A broker is a professional in there, and they are required for you to be a broker. You're registered by the insurance regulatory authority, similarly to an agent. But there are some conditions that you have to meet as a broker. You have to have a professional indemnity cover. You are followed up very closely by the regulator, and also there is the Brokers Association, which also a client can report to. So what I think one needs to do is to know the law the law does not mandate you to pay to an agent.
Okay.
Okay.
So if they tell you to pay, you refuse and tell them to do what?
You pay
You go there.
directly to the insurance company.
Okay.
But you can pay to a broker. The law allows you to pay to a broker because a broker is a professional. And
so
the
how
broker.
do you know that this is a broker and this is an agent? Okay.
Okay.
Do your homework.
Yeah. Basically, an agent will tell you, I'm XYZ insurance agent. A broker will tell you, I'm XYZ insurance brokers. And the license itself says whether you're an insurance broker and whether you're an insurance agent. Okay? And the obligations are even there, very clear. What you're supposed to do is, when you pay to a broker, in fact, when you go to a broker and the broker advises you, you can pay directly to the broker. If the broker fails to either give proper instructions to the insurance company or even to remit, you can sue them.
Okay.
You have a right. You may not sue an agent because an agent represents the insurance company, but a broker, because represents you, just like the way you can sue a lawyer or a doctor for malpractice, you can do the same to a broker. Or if you feel the broker has not satisfactorily dealt with your matter, you can sue them. But also the brokers, if similarly even agents, they have their own associations, and those associations have their members. So you can still be able to call the insurance Association of Insurance Brokers and check who are their members. But also, most importantly, if you go to the IRA website, it will tell you who are the registered brokers, who are the registered agents. Yeah. So you don't have to do a lot of work.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Muongi, we are almost coming to a close of this. Anything else that you want to top up in regards to that?
In terms of the intermediaries, right? So also another key missing gap is also the knowledge gap.
Yeah.
Because you find, yes, true, the issue is mentioned, you can go to a broker, but the contact person who you find at the brokerage may not be the most experienced person working at the brokerage. So it's usually something which causes a lot of confusion. Let's say at the brokerage there's someone specializing in medical, there's a different person specializing in general, another one specializing in life. So you can find if you ask for nitty-gritty details, you can easily be misguided, not intentionally, but due to an oversight by the particular person advising you. So one thing I'll recommend is also more training on the bit of the intermediaries. And also a lot of public information, because a lot of information is withheld. It's also an issue which we brought up with the insurance companies and the brokers as well, and also the agents. Because you find I have knowledge about this product, but I won't share this knowledge because I expect a client to come so that I give them special knowledge which they can't get in the public market. But in real sense, the information should be open. By the time I'm making a decision about insurance, I should have all the facts at hand.
All right. Well, that's amazing. When we close it at this aspect of claims, I am telling you, the claim processes are draining. That's the truth of the matter. And most of the Kenyans will give up on the process. Say, you know what, drain ya kutosha. You move into this office, to that office. You're telling me to write emails. I'm writing emails. No one is responding, like he says. What is being done to make sure that at least there's an ease in the claiming processes?
First of all, I would like to say that you're right. Actually, claims is like what we say, kulipa deni ni ngumu.
I swear.
When someone has your debt and you're trying to make them pay, sometimes you really have to, sometimes you even give it up. The same way when it comes to claims. So we have come up with ways, all the insurance companies are regulated by the IRA. So there are ways that are trying to be put into action to make sure that it is easier for a client. You do not have to go for rounds. You can even do it as where you are, because we're also trying to go digital. Initially, most of the time, everything was analog. You will have to do paperwork. You will have to go to the office. Again, those paperworks are the ones which also delayed the claims, because sometimes someone will say, I have not received the documents. But now when it is on the digital platforms, it is there. I made my claim on this date. Until today, I've not received any feedback. And again, we cannot defend ourselves as insurance companies when evidently everything is on our hands. So a lot of things are being put into action, which of course with the due time, all the Kenyans will be able to access it, they'll be able to understand it even more, so it will be made easier. And again, apart from also the claims, if I can add to what they were discussing about when it comes to payments, trust, you can work with brokers, you can work with insurance agencies. When it comes to agents, do not pay. Because again, I will say from my personal experience, I have clients. These clients made their payments, especially for motor. You make your payment, you think that you have received a comprehensive insurance. Yeah. But my friend, you have received a third-party insurance cover. Yeah. So now what happens, you had the utmost good faith, you trusted your agent, yes, but you didn't do follow-ups to find out, is this really cover, does it really exist? Okay. So now when you're involved in an accident, you come and claim to the company that I took a comprehensive insurance, I paid 50,000, 70,000, whichever amount you paid, but now you guys do not want to pay the claim.
Wow, there's so much to learn on this. I hope we can have some more time to delve deeper into the same. But as of today, we leave it at that. I hope you've picked something, but we maintain that this insurance covers and policies available are not always there to fleece money from you. Take advantage of them. Just probably, it will come in handy at that point of eventuality. Mercy Muongi, last speaker, insurance expert. Joseph Muongi, founder Fintra Global Limited, and also a person who's well conversant with matters insurance and insurance expert. The other lady, of course, Pauline Wanjohi. Asante sana for the great insights. We hope to have this conversation some more, because by the day we are getting more people venturing into the insurance world, and therefore communication and information is really, really vital. We close it at that, as I look forward to see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for always keeping it TV47, the home of Untold Story. The program has been Morning Cafe. Until tomorrow, it's a wrap. My name is Linda Alela.